To introduce the polymath and the versatile professional Saravan Krishna, the 2015 IT grad. He is right now the director of the business development at Bhagwan Cybertech and the VP and the trustee of IIM Bangalore Alumni Association. So, Saravan, you've done multiple roles throughout your career. What's your most valuable lesson from your times at CET?
I think CEG is such a beautiful institution where it's so accommodating, and it's a kind of atmosphere where wherever you come from, whatever you do, you always find your place. And the most valuable lesson I learned in CEG is, everybody has a place in this world, right? Whatever dream that you have, it could be in the classroom, outside the classroom, and that's what happens in real life, right? Each one of us have our own calling, our own skills, our own talent, and CEG to me is that one space which taught me that everybody has something in them, and admire the good of somebody, and it could be in business, it could be in a team that we run, and so on and so forth. You always look for that good in somebody and try to, put this as a position of strength. And for me personally, it's given me a lot of hope, a lot of confidence. And that's the place where I would say that I entered as a boy and left as a man. So CG in many ways has given me the skill sets for life that I always carry with me throughout.
Okay, that's inspiring. And we recently celebrated the Teachers' Day. So, which professor or faculty had the greatest impact on you, and why? Or did you leave any lasting impact on any teacher or faculty?
I think the answer for both would be many. But having said, it's very difficult, right? CEG, again, blessed with multiple great faculty. Some of them who taught lessons in class, some of them who taught life skills, right? Again, two deans who are very, very dear to me is Dr. M. Shekhar, the dean who was the dean when I entered college, and the next dean is Dr. M.P. Narayanaswamy, who was the dean when I was in the final year of college. Both of them played a crucial role in terms of Dr. Shekhar, somebody we all looked up to, and I had some time. I was this first year entering college and looked up to the dean, right? And Dr. P. Narayanaswamy was the dean when I was the student director at CEG Tech Forum, and had the privilege of spending a lot of time with him in the final year, and visiting his room. And every time I would learn something. The man had such humility. So these two, in terms of just outside the classroom, both of them have not taken class for me, but have left a lasting impact. In terms of my department, I think fortunate to again have great professors, starting from Dr. Uma Maheshwari. She was again, in many ways, a guide to me more than a teacher. We had Dr. Ranjani Pathasarthi, Dr. Sashwati Mukherjee, and Dr. Swaminathan, who the current HOD, who again I was closely working with when I was student director at CTF. So again, these are the professors I would name, but there are many. But I would probably, these are the people who, at the top of my head, have left a lasting impact. Yeah.
Okay. You also been the head of CTF, and you might have got a chance to interact with the deans a lot more times, right? So, is there any incident that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think one thing is I was one of the student directors, right, of CDF. There were around 40 of us, and I was heading the guest lectures. And every time, and typically as guest lectures, you have to go get the permission from the dean. It could be, or many times you bring a guest and then you take them to the dean's office. Every single time that I went into Dr. Narayanaswamy's room, he would always say, sit down and have a cup of green tea, right? It left a lasting impact in the sense he never would differentiate. He always would give you the respect. And that's something that I carry throughout life, right? He always treated us as adults, didn't treat us as students, was very, very approachable, very humble. And when there was a crisis, he would not shirk, right? He would always be with us as one among us. So he's the dean I interacted with most as a student director, right? Dr. Shekhar was more in awe, right? Because he was the dean when I was in the first year. You would understand as a alumni, right? Right. So in the final year, Dr. Narayanaswamy, I was very fortunate to have such a approachable dean, and a dean who, in many ways, again, to be honest, even now, I am in touch with him very much, and I still think of him when I think of a leader with humility. So yeah, that's where it is.
It's so nice to see how teachers have a lasting impression on us. Okay, so can you describe CEG in 3 words?
3 words. If you ask me to think of CEG, the first thing that comes to mind is red building, of course. But of course, in 3 words, I would say historic, transformative, and home.
That's brilliant. So nice. So, do you have any message for AACEG 4.0?
I think this is one place where in fact, incidentally, CGAM was the first event where my association, the Alumni Association, started, right? In my final year, 2015, I was a student volunteer in CGAM 2.0, where Engineer A.J. Balasubramanian was a convener, who is the current convener as well. And I was a volunteer. I then was part of the association. I was a co-convener for the CGAM 3.0 in 2018. The association trusted this responsibility on me, despite me being pretty young. And again, this is a great, more than anything else, I think CGAM is a great opportunity for us to all build relationships, right? I would urge everybody to come in big numbers. It is one occasion where, for me, for example, in CEG, for example, the last CGAM, the convener was from the 80s batches. I was from the 2015. You had Dr. Vasudevan, Engineer Vasudevan, who was from the 1960s, who was the president then. There were 3 generations of us who were working in CGAM. And that's the event itself, right? You see people across generations. You have so much to learn from them, right? They learn a lot of the latest things from us, right? The current trends. Whereas we learn a lot about experience. But beyond everything else, it's fun, right? It's fun to meet people, and the common thread that binds us all is CEG. And I think I urge everybody, mark the dates. It's on Jan 3rd, 4th. I think all flights should, come towards Chennai, and that's something. And apart from just, participating, I would urge people to volunteer, right? It's a great opportunity to again build relationships. Some of the relationships that I built are thanks to my volunteering stints at CGAM and AACEG, right? It's a great avenue, and just looking forward to seeing you all, and very excited.
Hoping to see you soon at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Saravan.
Thank you, Shweta. Pleasure talking to you.